Rachel Zegler is at it again, and she hasn't been doing a lot of press recently because of the SAG strike. So there's been, thankfully, a drought of her making public comments.
I mean, not thankful for us.
Yeah, but we love when we have a little bit of stuff to talk about from Rachel Zegler, because it's always bad. And this time, The Wrap put together a long list of Latino actors and actresses. It's called their Latino Power List. Yep. On it is Jenna Ortega, also.
Mario Lopez, who's got Hollywood staying power, my friend.
Is Ana de Armas on here?
I did not see Ana de Armas.
Is Anya Taylor-Joy on here?
I saw John Leguizamo is on here.
Anya Taylor-Joy better be on there.
Oscar Isaac, Selma Hayek.
Okay.
Harvey Guillen.
Cool.
Selena Gomez. America Ferrera. They were like iffy on America Ferrera. Then she gave that speech in Barbie, and they're like, put her on.
Got it. So here are Rachel Zegler's comments for this feature. It's an honor to be recognized in a way that both celebrates our heritage and lifts up the contributions we all make to this industry, where it can be particularly hard for us to be seen and heard in a meaningful way. What does any of this mean? It's just word salad.
I want to point out that the person above her on the list is Danny Trejo, who's been famous in Hollywood for like a gazillion years. Mm-hmm. Like, so I don't know what you mean by difficult to hear in a meaningful way.
Well, because she's so young, she's going to be like thinking I'm the first to do it.
Well, as we know, she's
a trailblazer.
Jennifer Lawrence was the first action star.
Exactly.
So.
Quote, I still don't think I'm quite ready for the life I already have, despite being extremely grateful for it and for every opportunity it has brought me. Snow White has drawn its fair share of controversy in a similar way to Halle Bailey's casting in The Little Mermaid. But to see a new generation of young girls see a Latina actress in the role will be revolutionary.
I wanna point out in the chat, Tacty Platty says, honestly, just happy they aren't calling us Latinx. There is plenty of Latinx in this article. Actually.
Yeah, there are a lot of Latinxes. From Jenna Ortega herself, she calls them Latinx. So here's what Rachel Zegler says. To young Latino performers coming up in the industry, I would tell them to know their worth and to make sure they are loud about having seats at the tables they deserve to be at. I have learned the hard way that we have to be fearless and loud in order to be heard and to prepare for the backlash that occasionally comes with that outspokenness.
Well, let's go through this statement a little bit one at a time. The problem is having seats at the table they deserve is innocuous and doesn't actually mean anything because what tables?
Like you're not an executive, you're talent.
And deserve is like you've made 2 movies, both of which have lost money.
When you deserve it is when you're someone like Jenna Ortega, where you had this extremely successful season of Wednesday and you earned a seat at the table as one of the executive producers. And Scream. She's been other stuff as well.
Another person listed in this article
Rachel
is
Zegler hasn't been in profitable movies yet.
Another person listed in this article is Jennifer Lopez, who has built herself an incredible empire in Hollywood because she proved many, many moons ago that she could sell records, and even unless she's in the movie The Mother, she can act if she needs to. Right? That's not somebody who didn't earn her seat at the table, and yet she gets ragged on for her bad choices in Men, apparently, or her failed marriages, but nobody's saying that she doesn't deserve to be where she was in Hollywood.
I think people will just do anything to not acknowledge that respect is earned and not just given to you in life.
And
we got a $20 one
at the end of the day, before you do it, what she fails at more than anything is she doesn't have the ability to phrase or frame anything in a way that wins you fans.
Yes.
At all. None of it.
I mean, I think her only fans are the other chronically online teenage girls. So KB said, I will only accept Brett taking off his shirt if he's wearing classic Roman armor underneath. Short king, nah, he's our short emperor.
I'll have to work on that.
What?
I'll have to work on that.
Another person said Jenna Ortega is going to be in a Beetlejuice too.
Yes.
Do you think that she's kind of pigeonholing herself here?
A little bit. Look, no.
Because she was in the X trilogy, in Scream, in Wednesday. Yeah. It's all very Spirit Halloween.
But that can be very lucrative.
It can be.
That can be very lucrative, and down the line, then that actually, if she plays her cards correctly, it allows her to then pivot and then she gets even more press just for doing stuff other than that.
You know what? They should actually go forward with this Beetlejuice movie where Jenna Ortega is going to be our Winona Ryder.
It's about halfway through
But Ethan
production.
Klein should be Beetlejuice. Am I wrong?
We could do that.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Right now she's pigeonholing herself actually isn't going to hurt her because she'll be able to pivot to more serious roles down the line.
I feel like people already take her much more seriously than they do Rachel Zegler.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And the timing of all of this hasn't helped Rachel Zegler because it's going to be even more wait and delay before Snow White comes out, and they can't just get it over with already.
So she was in Big City Greens, which I've never heard of, which is a cartoon. American Carnage in 2022. I did not see that.
You mean Jenna Ortega or Rachel Zegler?
Jenna Ortega.
Okay.
So she's pigeonholing herself because they're the most successful of the work she's done, but it's not the only work she's done.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it'll just take a time where eventually one of her other projects will have to be as successful as a Wednesday was. And Beetlejuice will probably not be the hit that they think it's going to be.
It's not relevant to Gen Z.
And here's the other thing. So, for this, I'm looking through all of these actors, and this is the point that I wanted to make. There are tons of actors on this list here who I don't necessarily... Like Zoe Saldana has her moments where she says kind of silly things. I wanted to go through Jenna Ortega's response. But the point is, before we get to that, is like all of these other actors, John Leguizamo is a perfect example. I think John Leguizamo is a fantastic actor. I can forgive his annoying, stupid comments. I've yet to see Rachel Zegler show a performance that makes it easy enough to forget how annoying her comments are. I'm welcome to it when it comes. I just don't know when that will be. I don't know if we're going to get that with...
We truly, at the end of the day, don't care whether these actors are super liberal or not, because we know that Jenna Ortega has all the same stupid opinions that Rachel Zegler has. She's just better at handling herself.
All of the actors in all of the movies that I reviewed this year, save for maybe a few of them, are in that same camp, and that does not stop me from loving those movies, right?
But
loving those shows.
If Disney's live-action Snow White is good, I will not pull any punches about that. I will like the movie.
For instance, I loved Cocaine Bear, even if Elizabeth Banks is annoying and stupid. Who else? What else came out this year? Twisted Metal. Anthony Mackie has made his own comments that can be kind of annoying. I guess he's had some based ones in the past too. But all of those things that came out, Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer. All of these people say kind of annoying things from time to time.
Florence Pugh, for sure.
Granted, I didn't actually think she was all that great in the movie.
No.
But in general, I don't have a problem with an actor saying annoying things if they're going to give good performances. But Rachel Zegler actually pushes the limit of that, like when you look at the Jeremy Renner stuff.
I didn't know that she had this long-standing rift with Jeremy Renner. I guess during the time when he was in a custody battle with his ex-wife, Rachel Zegler decided to start with the Twitter fingers again. And in October 2019, tweeted, "Can I be the new Hawkeye? Actually, I think the new Hawkeye should be a trans woman of color to stick it to that racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster, Jeremy Renner."
The other funny thing about it is we went and looked up because I was like, I didn't know that.
We were like, I didn't know Jeremy Renner
a monster? And there was nothing. And there was comments that went back to 2012.
He said the N-word in an interview in reference to it being bad to say the N-word.
Like Papa John.
He said...
He used a slur
Annie.
for...
It rhymes with Annie about transgender
in 2012 or 2015. And then he called
Black Widow a slut.
And Chris Evans did too.
Evans thought it was funny.
Chris Evans was pathetic enough to actually apologize for it.
But aside from this, I have no idea why Rachel Zegler thinks he is ableist against deaf people. Here's her last tweet. "And deaf, proper representation for the incredible deaf, hard of hearing community. A deaf trans woman of color, yes." As a new Hawkeye.
As a member of the hard of hearing community, I feel seen.
Do you?
I do. I feel
you should
very
be the
seen.
next Hawkeye.
I should be the next Hawkeye. I feel very seen.
And
right
then
now.
somebody responded to her at the time, "You need to learn the facts before you start running your damn mouth. Turns out most of the story is BS." She responded, "Not even remotely going to address the story that came out today, but he has made racist, sexist, transphobic comments and totally disrespected the deaf community. Better catch my mouth, cause she running. Bye."
She is one of the most unlikable people I've ever
You
seen.
can just feel the snark seeping through your phone screen when you read that. But I couldn't find anything of him even allegedly being against deaf people, since you said that he grew up partially deaf.
He's hard of hearing, I guess, as well.
Hard of hearing. And
She also says, do not make fun of pronouns.
that was during her whole rift with Gina Carano.
They are not a joke. Pronouns are validating. Pronouns are cool. Put your pronouns in your bio. I wear my pronouns on a button sometimes. It's a good thing. Bye.
This is like when Greta Thunberg said her toy octopus helps her express her feelings with her autism.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need a button to tell people what gender you are. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you don't need a reversible octopus to tell people whether you're happy or sad.
It's absolutely insane. Like, I've never met somebody who's so good at not being likable. It's kind of shocking. 20 years ago, she might have been very successful because she wouldn't have had a
medium like this.
Yeah, she would have had a handler. She's a beautiful woman. She's beautiful. I can't speak to how talented she is as an actress, but she's a beautiful woman, and she would have fit right in Hollywood. And I just imagine that if she'd had the right publicist and the right manager.
In her eyes, Hollywood has been so racist up until 2017 or something that she would have never been considered for any roles up until now.
Except for Jennifer Lopez was successful back in the early 2000s.
Except for the people that did it before you.
Except for all of those people that were on that list. It's the same kind of narcissism that of Jennifer Lawrence saying that she was the first action hero, right? Mario Lopez, I guess he's not, he doesn't count because he's a guy. Is that what they're saying? Like, Mario Lopez and John Leguizamo weren't successful, or were successful because they were men?
Because they had male privilege.
But what about Jennifer Lopez? But what about Rita Moreno? But what about Pedro Pascal? But what about all of the... Well, Zoe Saldana's been around for a hot minute. Like, what are you talking about?
There were a lot of old Hollywood stars that were Hispanic, and then we just never realized because they had more anglicized stage names.
I still laugh at the fact that James Roday added Rodriguez onto the end of his name.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
He's still a good talent though. Like, it doesn't matter.
Psych is still fantastic.
It doesn't matter to me.
Everyone still loves Psych. It doesn't matter.
Here were Jenna Ortega's comments, because she's often juxtaposed with Rachel Zegler as a Gen Z Latina actress, and people see her as, the based one, but she's just as much of a raging liberal. Quote, "Wednesday's technically a Latina character, and that's never been represented."
Oh, the chat is right. Rosie Perez was successful way long time ago.
Anytime that I have an opportunity to represent my community, I want that to be seen. I feel like the Latinx community, first of all, are not often shown on camera in general, but they're also oftentimes not shown in a positive light. I never want to play a maid, and I never want to play a cartel leader's daughter.
Okay.
I would much rather play a person of power.
Here's the problem. This is where they're actually shortchanging themselves. People laugh at the fact that they make the evil white businessman, but that's because that's the white people don't complain because that's a fun role to play. They want to play the bad guy because actors used to love playing the bad guy. A white businessman who's not an evil CEO is a lot less interesting than an evil white CEO who's some CIA director who's a bad guy. Just as a random Hispanic or Latino person is not as interesting. A guy who works at the corner store or a guy who has a job at a bank is not as interesting as a guy who runs a drug cartel.
Obviously,
that's just the way the world works. You're in the realm of storytelling. You don't tell stories of boring people. It's not fun.
She kind of made that shady comment about any like Latina who does play those roles, right?
Yeah.
Like implying that it's somehow demeaning.
There's a $20 super chat here from the Manic Mustache. Says, apropos to literature, hopefully there is someone for my literary work. It's called The Mustache Otaku, The Man, the Mustache, and the Treehouse, and the Treehouse That Held the Dreams. Sorry, it's scrolling side to side here. I'm going to read that one more time through. The Mustache Otaku, The Man, the Mustache, and the Treehouse That Held the Dreams. Subtitles a little long, but your mom liked it.
Okay.
Well, that's very mean. It's very mean. The end there.
Is this on Amazon? Is it competing with the memoirs?
You should, if we could get you to outsell. What's her name?
Oh, also, in 2018, Jenna Ortega visited a facility for undocumented children separated from their parents, wearing a jacket that said, "I do care, and you should too," as a way to hit back at Melania Trump's infamous jacket that said, "I don't care, do you?"
Dude, I'm loving the chat right now. They are just spamming with all of these successful Latinos.
The list is never ending.
Yes, it's freaking awesome.
But I mean, it's not really these young people's fault if they are told
it is
their whole career that they're the first to break these glass ceilings.
No, I still think it's their fault. I think it's like when we make public statements, like there are plenty of times where I say something and I'm like, I have to make sure that what I said, at the very least, if it's not an opinion, that if I get something wrong, I need to be aware of it, right? Like, you shouldn't just say these things willy-nilly and then just expect the rest of the world to delude themselves into believing it, especially for the sake of your vanity. Mm-hmm. That's gross.
I suppose so. But, I mean, it is the rest of their industry telling them this.
Somebody says Che Guevara. Carlos Mencia.
Hey, Justin Trudeau is a Latinx.
There's just look. I think more than anything, snark is the one thing that can really ruin it for me more than anything else. I hate snark. It's disingenuous. Mm-hmm. It's cruel.
The bye thing.
It's disingenuous and it's awful. And it's not the type of thing that wins you fans from any person who's looking to honestly engage with you that doesn't already agree with you wholeheartedly.
Even snark on its own, I can put up with that. But snark mixed with moral grandstanding on the basis of like racial power hierarchies, you've lost me. Yeah.
And all of this in the movie is a year out from...
It's a long way away.
It's gonna be a while. So it's just she doesn't win herself any favors. Like imagine the type of thing that you could do if you use that blurb to express gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna get used to it.
You're not gonna what?
Get used to Ian's crying in pain.
I can add to it, but the point is, like, imagine the benefit when you instill a bit of gratitude in your words, right? Like even with
Rachel Zegler did that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, even with that, you have to add the bit at the end there. Like all I'm looking for is a little bit. It's why I always point out the fact that I hated when they would do the mean tweets and then the celebrity would clap back. Nobody wants to see celebrities, rich people, elitists clap back.
They want to see them laugh at themselves.
Yes,
is what they want.
They want to see you show a little bit of humility. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.